el título de licenciada en Pedagogía del Idioma Inglés.
Good afternoon, members of the board and everyone who is good afternoon. It is a pleasure for us to be here, and we are about to present our thesis project. So, the title for our thesis project is Washback in Children's Motivation to Learn English, made by Patricia Gordillo and me. So, we are going to start.
Introduction. In motivation teaching to children, pedagogical methods and evaluation play a fundamental role in the learning process. These elements shape how children perceive motivation and influence in learning English. Washback refers to the impact that assessment has on teaching and learning, really affecting students' and attitude and interest in the classroom. Washback occur the positive and negative way. The positive washback leads to more engaging, goal-oriented learning process. For example,
we have performance-based tasks, we have role plays, short dialogues, and even storytelling activities, which require students to use English in a more natural way. When teachers evaluate these kind of activities, students feel excited and motivated because the assessment becomes part of a natural learning experience. In Ecuador, according to study by Washback, they found that formative assessments where the students receive the feedback during learning and not just at the end, this increases their participation and their confidence. Children feel that they are growing and they are not just being judged. So this is one clear example of washback, or positive washback, engaging students and motivating them to participate. Now, on the other hand, we have the negative washback, right here at the bottom. Well, the negative washback occurs when the assessment just causes stress or limit learning. This usually happens when the evaluation only focuses on repetition, on memorization, and also happens when the students are judged just by accuracy rather than communication, and also when tests are rigid, difficult, or disconnected from the classroom activities. For example, if a teacher, let's just say an example, if a teacher only uses grammatical quizzes or only uses vocabulary repetition tests, students may remember the material for a short period of time. But if the teachers create this environment where the students can feel safe to participate, the knowledge in all the students is going to be longer, it's going to last longer. So, now we are going to talk about the problem statement.
when we teach English to children, are often influenced. When we teach English to children, are often influenced by the way we evaluate them. Tests and assessment. Test and assessment is for the students in the classroom. It is important that teachers design aligned evaluations for objectives in the class.
Yes, it is very important. And also, these traditional assessment methods often overlook the individual differences among young learners, which can make feel evaluations like maybe discouraging or even unfair for some students. That is the reason why it is necessary to incorporate good assessment approaches, which can reflect better the students' real abilities and support meaningful learning. Now, we are going to tell you about the objectives.
To analyze the Washback role in language teaching to enhance the students' motivation through its application in the classroom. By analyzing Washback, it is possible to identify which assessment that is important in encourage active participation.
The first specific objective, as we can see here in the yellow square, is to explore how Washback approaches motivate English teachers. Well, understanding the essential importance of teacher motivation, it is crucial because the teacher's emotional climate influences the entire classroom. So when teachers recognize the role of positive Washback, they are more likely to create more interactive activities, and the students will have better results.
The second one, to determine how the role of Washback helps with the English teaching process. This objective aims to show that performance-based assessment. That objective determines the role in the classroom students with expect that Washback influence in the motivation in the students.
And finally, the third specific objective, the final one, is to identify which techniques teachers have used to adapt Washback to classrooms and in order to improve English teaching. Well, our findings have shown that several teachers use many of these techniques to promote positive Washback in their classrooms. For example, they use gamification, audiovisual aids, and collaborative activities. All of these strategies and techniques reduce fear in students and create a classroom environment where the assessment feels natural and meaningful rather than just threatening. So, now we have the theoretical framework.
Background. In China, it was shown that using that meaningful strategies and authentic materials. That's more than teach language content. It's motivating students and they influence motivation. It demonstrates that carefully designed activities can create positive Washback and deliver content in a productive direction.
Yes. And if we look right here, we have the Latin American research that shows that the system of the assessment in countries like Colombia, Mexico, and Chile, they often emphasize test results over learning processes. According to Hombran and Astafe, they say that when teachers just focus on test results, students always just develop weaker communicative skills. So it is difficult for them and they may feel overwhelmed. This shows us the need for assessment reforms that change this way of teaching and just involve more real use of English.
The final, this evidence shows that assessment, performance-based assessment, such as in Ecuador, teachers using this assessment to practice different methods like games, music, and different activities imaged in the class. This process engage that in the classroom and more attention and participation for the environment classroom.
Now, moving on to the pedagogical basis. Our study is supported by several pedagogical theories. We have three of the main ones that we thought they are like iconic for our project. The first one is from Vygotsky, which states that learning happens through social interaction. This means that children learn English better when the assessment involves communication, collaboration, and even teacher guidance. For the second one, we have self-determination theory by Jesse and Ryan, which states that motivation grows when students feel autonomy, connection, competence, and connection. Assessments that support these feelings result in positive Washback. And finally, the formative feedback research by Washback. This states that who focuses on improvement, increase students' motivation and confidence to participate.
And the theoretical basis, this research is based on theories of the motivation and participation. According to Desi and Ryan, 1985, the influence the motivation and influence the interest and motivation of participation. In addition, Piaget, 1972, emphasized that attention and social interaction facilitate more effective learning. These ideas shape that improve that education in the classroom. For example, teachers focusing that incorporating by group activities, peer feedback, and student-centered tasks improve that education. This significant impact can have on motivation, particularly in younger students.
Now, for the next slide, we have the methodology. The methodology that we used was the qualitative methodology, which adapts better to the project that we did and to the focus that we want to do.
The type of research, phenomenological study, this type of research is the phenomenological study to explore the perceptions and experiences and real experiences for teachers.
The instrument that we used was questionnaires. To gather experiences and perspectives from teachers, we did these interviews where they can feel free to express their experiences and to talk about what they have learned through all their journey.
The type of question, we designed open-ended questions to collect more detailed information. This type of question gave participants freedom to express experiences and emotions in their own words.
And the limitation of the population sample. We chose 5 teachers, all of them from Santa Elena, specifically from La Libertad, and all 5 of them were primary school teachers because we wanted their answers and their experiences to not be the same but be connected.
And the final data collection techniques, we designed on one-on-one interviews conducted via Zoom. This method was chosen because it's allowed the direct interaction with each teacher in a comfortable and private setting.
Now we have the categories and the results. For the first one, the motivation in children. Well, teachers reported that excessive verbal instructions, unclear explanations, or even overly excessive evaluation tasks reduce children motivation. According to Gao and Liu, they stated that when a student can understand the purpose of an activity, they lose the focus and the interest, as it is as simple and as clear as that.
The second one, Washback in English teaching. Washback helped meet the needs of English learning by giving teachers to they design activities and the teacher features that fit students' strengths, allowing to access prior knowledge.
For the number 3, we have the feedback and the impact on students' learning processes. Well, at this point, we confirm that feedback is crucial. It is crucial in every learning process from every student. According to Pan and Gang, they stated that constructive and supportive feedback allows students to feel safe to participate. This effective feedback change the way the students feel in the classroom in order for them to encourage them, in order for letting them express their opinions even if they are not perfect.
And the final, teaching techniques to stimulate students' motivation. In this category, educators emphasize the importance of assessment aligned with students' needs. It's important teachers use audiovisual image and game music in the class for the English and the repetitive material or repetitive content with students not generate motivation.
And now, as for the final part of the presentation, we have some conclusions and recommendations. I'm going to talk about 3 of the main conclusions that we thought for our thesis. The first one, positive washback encourages students to feel motivated, while negative washback just leads to anxiety and discourages students from participating. The second one, talking about feedback. Effective feedback make this environment feel safe for the students in order for them to participate and to build their confidence. And the final one, and I would like to say that is my personal favorite one, because it is related with adults who they think really that they cannot learn another language. So maybe it's related to this, which says that positive early experiences can inspire long life motivation, while negative experiences just create this long-lasting resistance to learn a new language.
Recommendations. First, using that creative and interactive assessment help students to see the evaluation as an opportunity to improve rather just a score. And the second one, to improve students' motivation, practice should be assessment and to improve and goal-oriented learning and teaching learning process. And the final, it's important institutions that offer training to help teachers that to understand assessment and design evaluations. We can create that positive effect in the classroom.
Well, to sum up, this research project aims to highlight the importance of Washback in children's motivation, and also implements the whole caring for the environment and the way that children learn.
The study underscores the importance of positive Washback and its manifold feedbacks and others.
Well, here you can see our references, and that was all. Thank you very much for